afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. And yeah, it's been 1 year. It'll be a year tomorrow, I should say. So I'll play the video for both streams this week. And welcome back. Good afternoon, as I usually say. A little bit different start to today's stream because, you know, I wanted to celebrate a little bit. It's kind of surprising. It's already been 1 year. It's been 100. Today would be 105 Friday because originally this video was going to go out on Friday. It'll be 106 streams over 1 year. And today, if you saw the title of the stream, we are going to be playing some Evil Genius. I didn't mention this last episode. Evil Genius 2 actually comes out 5 weeks from yesterday. That gives us about 10 streams, give or take, to actually play the new game. Or play the old game so we can get a little more hyped for the new game. So I'm ready to play some Evil Genius. The original Evil Genius, I should say. I don't have the game quite loaded up yet. I'm doing that right this second here. I didn't want to take away from the video. It was a fun little edit I have to do. Usually I don't edit my videos. Just because I don't feel like, especially the streams, it's like I'll throw the whole thing up there. So if you guys want to skip around, you're more than welcome to. And you can actually hear it. Let's listen for the classic soundtrack of Evil Genius. Come on, game. Well, that could have been more. Oh, there it is. Took it a second. It's a little bit older game. Let's listen to the orchestral music of the guy's name is James. I don't remember his last name. It's great. I think they actually brought him back for Evil Genius 2. So I'm excited to hear what he has there. But we are back in Evil Genius. So let's go ahead and start a new game. We're going to play on medium this time. I think we played on easy last time, just to kind of get used to the game. Last time we used Alexis. I'm going to use the classic. Drumroll, please. Maximilian. One of my favorite Evil Geniuses. He's also in the new game, so why not, kind of roll one into the next? But apparently, if I read the notes right, the next Evil Genius game actually takes place after this, so it kind of makes sense that we want to start this one beforehand. Now, our henchman's going to be different. Each Evil Genius has a different henchman. If you weren't here last time with us, we actually played with Eli Barracuda from Brooklyn. I actually like Eli. He's probably my favorite of the 3 original henchmen. But Jubei has got to be a close second. I'm going to turn down the game just a tiny bit. Oop, I just turned it all the way off. Not what I wanted to do. I turn it down just a tiny bit so you guys can hear me just a little bit better. I'm going to rearrange half my screen here because for some reason, I can tell you exactly why. Because this was maybe, 2000 something? I know. Anyway, the screen resolution is a little off. So the first thing we need to get done, we need to start building our base. And I think this is probably the best place I'll have my head. And essentially, I'm going to cover up some of this, but I can read it to you guys. So the first thing, we need to build a barracks. We need to have at least 1 bunk bed and 1 locker. We need to have a control room with at least 1 control console and 1 memory bank. And we got to find some agents that are on our island. Go ahead and start. So this is our base, or what little we have of it so far. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to draw a corridor out. I'm going to kind of do the same starting base as I did last time. So if you were here last time, good for you. I think this actually was one of the first games we actually played on stream. I know our first stream was Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and then I think we did a couple games of that, and then it went right into, look at that, they landed right right where Jubei was. That's going to be bad for them. But I think this might have been the second or third game we actually played on stream. So it was, you know, it was rather early on. So, you know, there probably wasn't a lot of people. I know this was actually one of the first games that actually got a lot of viewers in. Because there was a couple people that were really into this game. We already got our first task complete. We cleaned up the agents on our island. So if you don't know about Evil Genius is a very different game than most. Most games you take, you're in control of the hero, or kind of blurred lines here, but you are the hero. In this game, it's the total opposite. You're playing as the James Bond villain. You're playing as like Dr. No. Dr. No is the only one I really remember. Then I go like Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. People like that. That's who you're playing as. And this is mostly a lair building game. And what do I mean by lair? Well, we're actually building our evil lair inside of a mountain in an undeterminate location. It's kind of fun. So right now we've actually just got the corridor done. So the first thing we need to do is build a strong room. What is a strong room? Well, think about it as our personal bank or vault. So essentially this is where we're going to store all of our money at. Pretty nice indeed. So we need to get that going pretty quick first. We already do have a small one in this little shack up here with our evil genius, but figured it might be a bad idea just to actually have one inside, so that if any agents decide to start snooping around, they don't steal all of our money. So the next thing I want to build is actually build a barracks. Now, barracks, pretty simple idea. This is a place where your workers, or your minions, or anything like that, can come and relax once they're not doing much. You know what? I actually want to cancel this. I'm gonna draw a little bit more out here. They come to relax. They come to sleep here. So this is a pretty well used room. I want to mix it up a little bit because this is pretty much how I did the original one. But there we go. Like, I can't remember how to rotate stuff. It's been a little bit since I actually played this game, probably right around a year. So it's gonna take just a minute or two to get used to again, but that is okay. So there's our barracks. So go ahead and start. We can kind of plan out our base a little bit. Now, granted, we don't have everything we'll need. Right now, we don't have things like let's start. I'm already starting to mess up my words. I'm getting excited. That's why. But you can see here, we only have a couple of rooms. We have a strong room, a barracks, a control room, and a freezer. We'll go ahead and build the freezer as well. And the freezer is kind of a... It's necessary, but it's a little dark on what it is. So, when you kill somebody on your island, like those agents, right here, they form body bags. Now, we can just leave them there if we want to. However, if we want to actually store them somewhere, we'll need a freezer. And eventually they will disappear. However, it's probably going to take a little bit. So I'm going to move my evil genius over to here. You see this little blue circle, if you're curious, is his sphere of influence. That is, so if a worker or something like that is in there, they actually get a bonus a little bit to their focus, things like that. Like if your boss comes around. And, you know, all of a sudden you go, oh, we need to do something. Kind of the same idea. Let's go ahead and start working. Well, let's still kind of filtering in here. We only have 3 construction workers. Let's bump it up to 5, because we can have up to 5. So we can at least get, I think it costs us a little more. It costs us 8 grand. You get those really quick here, but that's okay. We can use the extra help to get our base started. We'll go ahead and start doing the barracks there. So the next one I want to do is the control room. Now, the control room, this is like the brains of your evil organization. This will allow you to send minions out into the world and allow you to put the door here and here. Do something like that. And we'll go ahead and put a couple, you know what? Let's go ahead and nuke that. And we'll put the memory banks only along the bottom here. I think that works pretty good. And we'll put our time clock there. So now you can kind of see how this game is going to go. We're starting out just kind of building the basics of our base, essentially. So right now, we don't have much. We'll need to get things like an armory, which allows us to have prisoners to interrogate. That comes in handy later. We'll also need... You know what, let's actually add a second entrance over here. Just so that, if need be, we can actually, you know, have a second entrance into this place. It's going to cost us about $50,000 to build all that, but I mean, that's something we do need. But this is pretty much the game speed that you play at. It's not too quick. We're going to delete that strong room, and that should allow all of our workers to move all the gold and stuff like that into here. Kind of makes sense. So all that $190,000, which really, if you think about this, I mean, Max a million. I've admit he's probably a multi-millionaire or billionaire. You know, you would think he would have more money than $250,000 to start his evil empire. I'm just going to point that out there. But I guess, you know, if you buy your own island, kind of makes sense that you wouldn't have too much left. But, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But we are going to do a little bit of a trick. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to see if I can find her. It looks like she hasn't spawned in yet. But here shortly, there will actually be a civilian that pops up on our island. And it's actually a maid. And the objective is you have to capture the maid, interrogate her, and you get a new minion. But that kind of ends the tutorial phase. You see, now we have our barracks built. Let's go ahead and do that freezer really quick, just in case. So the only thing we don't have is our control room. Let's just get both going. We can. Let's make sure everybody's working. But here's the idea. If you don't actually capture the maid and interrogate her, the tutorial doesn't end, and you don't gain any heat. Now, what is heat? Well, there is 5 factions of the world out there. Anvil, Hammer, sorry if I remember them all, Saber, Patriot, and the other one. And I don't remember what the other one is. I know I'm trying to think. Patriot takes care of the United States and Japan. Hammer is the USSR, Russia kind of area. I don't know when this game technically is set. And then you got Anvil, which is... I want to say it is like Africa. Saber is Europe and Australia. I don't remember what Africa's is. We'll see here in a second once we get our control room done. But I just kind of blinked on that. So, you know, this is not ideal, but all right. But while the maid is here and not capture anything, we don't gain heat. So we can send our minions out into the world and steal a bunch of money, do a bunch of stuff like that. Don't have to worry about it. In that case, what we're going to do is we're actually probably going to steal a lot of money and just kind of generate some cash. And we'll slowly build the base up as well. We actually need to actually lose enough power so we can unlock the power plant. I'm trying to think what other big things we need to get. That might be the ones we can do. Like, we can do until we actually have to go out and steal rooms. So there's plenty of other rooms we can get. We can get, you know, an infirmary. I know that's one of them. A research lab. I know that's an objective later. Libraries, staff rooms, a kitchen, things like that. Just things that, but we have to go out and steal all those. We can see here now that we have a freezer. Our minions are actually going out to pick up the bodies and place them in the freezer. Now we can just leave them on here, but we also have these racks that we can store them on. There has been some times where I've had 3 or 4 freezers like this and they're all full and there's body bags on the floor. It happens. unfortunately, the first kind of part of the game, it's a little slow. It's kind of like this. You're trying to build up your base a little bit better. You're trying to get everything kind of situated and ready to go. Okay, just kind of curious what that was. So yeah. So we're just kind of waiting on the. We're waiting for them to build everything up. And I was kind of waiting because I didn't want to build too fast. Right now, we'll be about $125,000 once we get our control room done. Not a whole lot. Luckily, we don't have to pay our construction workers. We don't have to pay any of our minions. So, you know, wages aren't a thing. Neither are taxes. So that's also a good thing. So, in that case, what do I want to do? Because right now they have enough. Because we have 5 construction workers. I know that these are going to take all 5. So right now it's going to be kind of silly to actually start our construction projects. But once they get 3 or 4 of them available, they'll go ahead and we can go ahead and start doing this. I think that'll work out pretty well. You got to remember, this base is actually it looks pretty big, but some of the rooms you need later on can get kind of big that you need. So it's kind of a trade-off. It's like, what, you know, how big a room do you want to build now? Do you want to build one that's going to sustain your entire base and just kind of keep, you know, adding more stuff to it like the barracks? Or do you want to build a smaller one, then maybe have to rebuild it later? That's kind of the issue, especially with when you get bigger and better rooms. Kind of becomes an issue. All right, so let's go ahead and start building this room. You see here, right now they're still trying to figure out where the door is, but it happens. Takes them a minute, and they'll start running through it. It's a bit of a weird thing that once you put up a door, they kind of stop for a second, but hey, it happens. So there we go. So now we can actually tell them to actually move the bodies onto racks. There we go. Eventually they'll do that. It's not like it's a huge priority to do that. We prefer to get the construction done first. But hey, you know, that's what happens. Good coffee. You know, I actually woke up kind of early today, which is kind of... Usually, I don't wake up till about 11 o'clock and then start streaming at 12:45. I woke up, I think, at 9:30 this morning. It's like, what do I do with myself for 3-4 hours? Maybe 4 hours, yeah. Maybe 3 hours. I was right the first time. But you know, it's like, oh, this is a little different. But so this is, I think, my second cup of coffee. And I've also got a bottle of water available if need be. Looks like they have enough dynamite to blow the rest of that room out. I am kind of curious. I have seen some new gameplay footage of the new game. I'm a little concerned about it. And the only reason I say that is it kind of looks like, to me, like a phone game. And that's what I'm kind of... There's like cutscenes, and apparently there's a huge like story to it all, which I'm kind of interested in, but I'm a little concerned about. I think it's one of those things like I'm not sure, and that's what kind of scares me. Because I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I've only beat it twice, and once I did it on stream. Once I did it the night before the stream. That I beat it on the stream. That was something like that. And so it's one of those deals where I love this. I want a modern version of this, and I don't know if I'm going to get that. Maybe. There's some really good things I like about the new game. There's like, it's because like in this game, if I click on, let's say Jubei here, he's got a full figure. You know, he's a 3D model and everything like that. The issue is that, like, in the new game, they actually all have faces. They all have, like, customizations. And if you look here, it's pretty much all males. It's going to be like that the entire game. But in the new one, there's actually male and females, and there's different customization. They have different hairstyles, different skin tones. I'm like, that's actually really good. I actually like seeing that. Also, I like seeing things like... what's some other things? Some of the rooms look a lot better. I mean, just the game looks better. I'm just kind of concerned about the actual gameplay itself. I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm already kind of locked into there. But I am just a little apprehensive. I'm not going to get my hopes too high until I actually play it. And I don't know if I'll play it first on stream, because unfortunately I don't stream on, I think it's Tuesday it comes out on March 30th. I don't stream on March 30th because I actually am working that day. However, it'll be the next day, so I don't know if I'll come home, play it a little bit just to kind of get used to the game, maybe do the tutorial and things like that. But we'll see. So they're almost done with the control room. Once they get done with the control room, I'm going to send probably 3 of them out to start stealing money. I'm like, I just steal it. I didn't need it. I need money. And I'll probably send Jubei out with them, just because if you look here, there actually is there'll be 3 different stats they're going to have. They're going to have, I just blanked on me. Money stealing, hiding, and something else, and I don't remember what that third one was. Well, I'll tell you guys in a second once we get our control room up and going. Fridge Marca, how are you doing today? Yeah, base design is always kind of interesting. I'm wanting to see how they do it in 2. I've seen a little bit. I've seen it a little bit in number 2, but I like how they do it in this one as well. You know, to me, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I kind of like bigger rooms. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping. What I've seen so far, there is some changes to it. Number one, they don't use dynamite anymore. You know, they have like, it looks like it reminds me of like Ghostbusters. They have like a big vacuum pack on it. You know, that's what it looks like to me. So I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a change there. But it looks like you actually get a lot more detailed, like how you actually lay out your rooms. So while, you know, it's a small detail, like, you know, like, oh, we're gonna miss the dynamite, you know. But here's the thing, Fridge Marca. I don't know if there's actually going to be, like, I don't know if Red Ivan's gonna have his rocket launcher. I could be wrong about that, because Red Ivan's now an evil genius. He's not a henchman anymore. So I want to know how that works. Like, because in this game, your evil genius can't attack anybody. Does he really still have his rocket launcher? I mean, wouldn't surprise me. Let's be real here. If you're this, you know, giant Russian guy, who's going to walk up and say, "Hey, how, you know, you're an evil genius now. You can't attack. We need your rocket launcher." Nobody's going to say that. I'm actually kind of surprised. I wonder if in the new game your evil geniuses can actually now attack, because in this game they can't. That's why you usually have to hide them, or they fight very poorly, I should say. I'm wondering if that's going to change, especially with Red Ivan. I mean, Red Ivan's amazing in this game, but he's a little rambunctious when it comes to that rocket launcher. Would it even be Red Ivan if he didn't love to fire? You know, it's true. It's true. I'm wondering, and this is what I'm kind of curious about. I don't know. This is unconfirmed. This is a thought I had. I know that different evil geniuses, except for Maximilian, has like a specialty trait. I'm wondering if, like in Red Ivan's case, do they have to build the base more sturdy for him? Like, is that like a trait that they put in the game? Like, I don't know the names of them. I know Maximilian and I know Red Ivan. I don't know the 2 females. I've called it Hillary Clinton and Marge Simpson, but that's just me. I'm wondering if they, like, if there's a thing like in the game where they actually say, "Hey, we need to build these walls thicker because Red Ivan has his rocket launcher still." I think that'd be hilarious. Maybe that's just me. But yes, we are going to get Red Ivan, because I'm like, come on. Even though he can be very paranoia-inducing or very frightening to have, he's still one of the best henchmen to have around. I'm not going to say no to Red Ivan. And while I'm about to play Evil Genius 2 multiple times just so I can play as Red Ivan, because I think my first playthrough has got to be with Maximilian, because that is, like, my man. You know, but, yeah, this is going to be a little fun. You know, from what the only thing I've really seen, they did like a 10 or 15 minute video of like gameplay with a couple of developers. That's all I've really seen of it. I don't know if they, I don't know if explosions are a thing, like, like that. They could have just not showed it either. They could be keeping themselves, keeping a little bit back for themselves until they release it, of course. You gotta remember, we still have a month before they technically release the game. And so there's a lot of stuff that they don't tell us yet. They may not be telling us yet. And that's so I'm like, I want to see. That might be a change they make. I say we don't know yet, and that's why I'm kind of interested to see what's going to go on. So our control room's done. However, because of that, I'm pretty sure we get. So yeah, the control room's operational. That's when they say that the maid has come on. But here's the problem: we're out of power. So in that case, can we actually squeeze? Not really. We can't really squeeze a power plant in there. Let's do something like this. Usually this is about where I put my power plant. It seems like every game I play, no matter how it happens, it seems like I always build a power plant here. I need to build, armory's complete, holding cell, that looks all good. Let's do something like this. And when I need a second power drain, I might do something like this eventually. Which means I can put the capacitors along this side here. And I will need to put an entrance. I need to build a hallway down to here. Let's just go ahead and build that. And what we are going to do, we were going to send Jubei and 2 minions out. Just start stealing some money. This is how I've built my bases usually in Evil Genius, and they usually work out okay. It seems like we get a lot of, there's not a lot of room left. But you got to think about this. I can put things like, the nuclear power generator becomes amazing. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember the last game I played of this, I didn't get that till Island 2, which is a huge issue. Because nobody wanted to research it for some reason. I don't know why, but they just didn't want to research the correct thing. I'm trying to remember, because like up here, like I can put things like the kitchen, a small infirmary, like the basic infirmary in here, and kind of make some of those smaller ones for like minion units, or not minion units, minion stats. That's what I'm trying to think of. And here, just kind of the basic ones. Yeah, you're right. You have to get the scientists first. Then you have to get somebody to want to research the chalkboard. But the chalkboard, you have to have, I think it's 2 devices. And I don't remember exactly. I think it's like the centrifuge and maybe the impact stress analyzer that you have to get to actually research the blackboard. And it's like you can get one really early, but then you have to try to find the rest of them. Kind of a pain, but it does happen. But as you can see here, though, we do have 3 things. We can do some plotting, stealing. This is probably for new people. I know some people are, like, there's a couple people in here that already are like Evil Genius experts. They're fantastic. But something different people new. Maybe they just saw Evil Genius 2 coming out and they're kind of wondering what Evil Genius 1 is. I think that's kind of what I've been trying to do. I think this would be kind of fun to actually kind of see what we're doing. I'd love to actually add a few more lockers in here. The reason I'm going to add some more lockers is that, I can already do this. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to actually increase these guys to 10. Yes, I don't remember off the top of my head, because remember, this has been about a year since I played this game. So all that knowledge has kind of gone away for a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of how it goes. So you can see how big the power room is. And those generators aren't going to provide a huge amount of power. I mean, they'll provide some, but it's not a whole lot. So you go up to 11, and we'll send 2 more guys out into the world. Give us 5. Ooh, actually, let's do 2 more. Base construction is going to slow down a little bit, but we're also out of money. So it's kind of one of those things like, do we run out of money but keep a bunch of minions at base, or do we have our minions go out and start stealing money, but our construction kind of slows down? It's kind of one of those things. So here's kind of my idea for what I want to do this. So I kind of want to make a quarter down this way. I always put my inner sanctum right here. That is something I do for some reason. Why? Not really sure, but that's how I do it. I'm not going to put up too many extinguishers. We have a few around, but right now, since we don't have really anything that that would catch on fire relatively easily, because we don't have agents of justice coming out, I think we'll be okay for now. So we need to get a holding cell. Let's get a couple of those in here. You know, with second entrances, I have done them in the past, especially with the second island. The second island, I feel you can easily get away with having 2 entrances. The only problem I have with this is, especially when you're starting out, I feel that it's nice to only have 1 entrance. It does take a little while for minions to get it down here. However, it's a little bit easier to defend. Maybe that's just me, how I play it. I know there's some other people that, like, they want to, build, these, mega bases and, like, have, like, optimized for 2 entrances, 2 exits, all that. It's like, I'm just not that good. But we are getting a little bit of money in, so that is good. Not a whole lot, but we are getting some in. But pretty much just going right back out into building the generators and things like that. So not ideal right this second. We are pretty much in emergency power. Didn't know by taking over the world you can lose all this money. Yeah, so with soldiers like that, number one, I have a lot of henchmen. I usually kind of train my henchmen up enough to where they can kind of take out a group of guys. But with something like that, I've had machine guns they've blown up, like 2 or 3 machine guns. It's hard. Red Ivan, great way to do that. You launch a rocket launcher at them. Seems to work out pretty well. But at the same time, we're getting about $3,000. It's a good amount every minute. But yeah, I know Red Ivan is a good way to take care of a big group of guys. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else was really good. The Butcher's pretty good too, because he has an attack that automatically kills an agent no matter what level he is. It's also a pretty good one. But, we might actually try to get different minions this time. Or different henchmen, I should say. Because last time we had the Butcher, we had Red Ivan, we had... Who else we had? I don't remember off the top of my head. But we had a couple... oh yeah, I picked this person, I picked this person, I picked this. Oh, we had... There's one I've never seen before. Well, I should say I've never seen before. There is a henchman you had to get, and the only way you got him is you either pre-ordered the game or there was something else you did. And I don't remember what his name is, but he's an African explorer. And the only way you could get him was those 2 ways. And there's a patch that that came out years ago. I mean, this came out in 2006, I think. I think maybe in 2013, 2014, they actually came out with a patch for this game that included him in it, and I'm pretty sure I have it downloaded. Look at that, we get a hotel now. Hotel wing, hotel lobby, hotel lounge. Perfect. Start our own hotel business. I mean, let's be honest here. On this island, probably not going to do it. On the new island, yeah, I might build a hotel. I actually did last time. It actually worked out really well. Also because I can also build the hotel inside the mountain a little bit. That actually helps quite a bit. That is also part of the patch, is you actually can build your hotel and things like that inside your base if you want to. Now, honestly, Jubei is probably my second favorite. He probably is the better of the two. I kind of partial Eli, and I don't remember why. There was a joke that when I was playing it originally, we came up with. There was like me and a couple friends actually played this game quite a bit, and it was just funny. And then, but I like Eli Barracuda. Maybe that's just me. It's the only henchman with a gun. But I mean, well, samurai with a sword, pretty cool. I don't remember the other one. Isn't he like a voodoo doctor? I think it is. I don't remember his name. It shows how little I play the third. Is Shin Yu. It shows how little I play him. I just not really interested. I prefer either Maximilian or Alexis. So, well, our base building has come to a significantly grinding halt. We're slowly getting in some of the smaller stuff like the generators and things like that. Not generators, the capacitors. But these capacitors really can't really do much until we get power back. Once we get power back, they're actually kind of useful. But we get enough people out here stealing, hopefully. I think this is one of the better places. I could be wrong, but I know Europe is a good one. All right, but here we can see what we. So I've got Patriot, I've got Smash. Smash was the one I forgot, and it is covered most of Africa, the Middle East, and South America. But I remember Patriot, Saber, Hammer, and Anvil. See, I know more about this game than people know. Some people know, I should say. Maybe that's just me. Well, let's go ahead and send that 6th henchman out there. I know the funds are low. That's why we're sending more henchmen out. Or minions, however you want to call them. Now, I'm really kind of surprised. Maybe this is just me. But I'm surprised more. Well, I think it's more this kind of the community of Evil Genius wasn't huge into modding the game. This is actually a really good game on its own. But, I was kind of expecting, be able to play, Dr. Evil. I mean, this is the game that very well could have Austin Powers in it. And it would still work perfectly. You play as Dr. Evil, and one of the super agents from maybe Saber is Austin Powers instead of the other guy. And I don't remember the other guy's name. He's like the James Bond ripoff, which essentially that's what Austin Powers is, but a little more well done. Maybe that's just me. I think it'd be hilarious, but And apparently, so last time we actually went for, I'm trying to think, we went for John Steele. That's what it was. I found out there's a way to defeat him. Now, how John Steele's defeated, you have to strap him to the rocket you launch at the end. Apparently, that's the way to do it. I didn't get to do it last time. I might try to do it in this Let's Play. We'll see. However, we did defeat all 4 super agents from the last game. So we might try to do John Steele as well. And I do remember how to defeat. I remember how Jet Li. I remember Mariana Mamba. The guy from Patriot. I don't remember his name. He's like a Rambo knockoff. And what was the 4th one? The Russian. Yeah, the Russian one's hard because you have to go steal her teddy bear. Doesn't sound like the hardest thing to do, but it's 3 or 4 missions deep that you have to go. And then you have to you put her teddy bear on a punching bag and you just punch it for 10 seconds, and then she just breaks down, has a mental breakdown. That's how you defeat her. It's really odd. The other one, Maya Mamba, you have to you inject her with something. The Patriot guy, you dip into a tank of bio. Not a bioweapon. I guess it's somewhat a bioweapon. He just becomes useless. Jet Li, you actually dishonor him by defeating him in a martial arts match, but you cheat at that, so that's a little bit different. What if I read another capacitor? Not ideal. Let's go ahead and cancel that one, just so the next thing they buy is a generator. But I think a generator is, what, 10 grand? Let's go ahead and just send 3 more out here, just so that we can try. Can we just send Maximilian out to start stealing stuff? Or can we, call in a bank loan or something? I mean, we've got stuff that we could put on reserve. Or put on for collateral for a loan. I don't know why we couldn't. Like, that yacht. If you, I don't know if I played this opening cinematics or not. But, like, that yacht, I think I could clear a $50 million loan with that yacht. Just saying. I used to be in finance. I've done stuff like this before. But if you remember from last time, or if you're new, or if you're a game or a guy who or a person, say, who actually played this game, you know there actually is 3 endings. First one we actually did Identity Crisis, which we turned everybody into one of our henchmen. It was kind of interesting. So I don't think we're going to do that one. So the other 2, one's a financial, like you crash the stock market in every country at once. And there's a 3rd one, and I don't remember what that 3rd one is. Maybe just a big death laser. Not like the worst idea in the world, but you know. So I don't know. We'll do one of the other 2 options. Hopefully we won't get a game over screen like we did last time. If you remember, about halfway through our playthrough, maybe a little more. We did get a game over one when an assassin actually came in and killed Alexis. Found out Alexis is actually a robot. Kind of interesting too, but you know, it happens. So hopefully we don't get a Maximilian death scene. Be a little unfortunate. But it could happen. It could very well happen. Looks like they actually might be finally building a generator, which if that's true, that'd be amazing. But I guess what I could do is go to here, turn off this room, so that we really at least have power still. They just don't have, you know, really can't do still much anything with it. Kind of hoping they would be building a generator by now, but I don't see anybody running around with a box. And somehow they crammed everything that everything in any size comes in a nice box. Fridge, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong about this, but with the update that came with whatever it is. You can look up the patch. It's like patch like 1.13 or 1.14. I actually think you can play Sentries indoors with that patch. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can. I think that's one of the reasons I actually beat this game was due to the fact that I was able to put Sentries indoors. And essentially what I did was for the last island is that I closed off. It might be like a community patch kind of thing. But from what I mean, I'm going to be real here. So this game's what? I'm trying to think. It's getting close to 20 years old. If it came out in 2006, like I think it did, the game's probably closer to 20 years old than anything else. I mean, what? 4 years away? 5 years away? 5 years. It'll be 15 years old. The developer, I don't know if the original Rebellion still, well, they still exist. But I don't think they really support the game anymore. Fair enough, they might screw with your save. I'm not going to say they don't. Which, come to think about it, I'm going to take that back. I have to go back and watch my original stream, but I'm pretty sure I actually updated the game while I was playing, and it still worked okay. Now, granted, that was me. IT, I know it can work for one person and not work for a second person. I'm just going to put that disclaimer out there. So you just be, I would be careful with it. If you can always try it. It's always a fun little thing to, I think it's well worth it because I think it was more quality of life stuff than anything else. Things that should have been in the game. Things like being able to build your hotel and things like that indoors. To me, that was kind of one of those. The Sentry indoors was one of them. There's a new henchman that was only available for like pre-orders. So yeah, to me, that kind of makes sense. But hey, I know some of those, some people are a little, there's some people that are a little kind of, not anti-mod, but they're a little wary of mods like that. And that's okay. It happens. But there we go. Now we should have plenty of power to be able to activate our control room. So now we can see what's going on in the world. How much is this going to cost us? It costs about $8,000. Oop, that's not what I wanted. And the holding cells are $5,000 each. Ugh. All right, well, let's. We're doing evil on a budget. You know what? That would be an interesting show. I'm just not like. So do like an HGTV show where they're like, you know, they're instead of like going into old houses, we're going to evil layers and we are revamping them. And we're going to open them up and give them a more open concept. It's a South Park reference if I ever heard one. I think that'd be hilarious. Do something like that. And maybe that's just me, you know. Redoing evil, you know, just remodeling Evil Genius layers to fit our needs. So if anybody is not familiar with this game at all, we have these little flags that pop up, or these little dots. Now, most of them are kind of like these little flags that are just stuff that we can do. But there's stuff like that comes up, like this one. This is steal a library blueprints. And so essentially this one, we're actually stealing blueprints to a library. Those will actually give us a new room. So stuff like that pops up around the world. Sometimes you have to find them. Sometimes you have to do some research, or sometimes you just have to wait. Yeah, I'm just saying that would be kind of fun to do, to actually help other people in the new Evil Genius game. Is kind of just pimp my lair or something like that. I mean, just something outrageous that would never happen, but would be kind of funny. I'm about to look that up because apparently there is a comedy set. I want to see that. That actually sounds pretty funny, at least to me. You know, I kind of like humor like that. I do kind of make fun of shows like that though, because you can tell a lot of those are kind of made up, a little kind of they're scripted, I should say. And like it's just like, why? It's like this is, you can obviously tell this is not, you know. Yeah, it sounds hilarious, like kind of stuff I would watch. But right now we're kind of waiting. We got, looks like 2 generators up. We're gonna wait for the last 2 to get built. You know what? We're actually gonna nuke that one. Hopefully that wasn't the one he was gonna go build. Looks like it was the other one, or it was the capacitor. I don't know if that was it or not. You see here our capacitors are actually generating or getting charged. So there's like big batteries. But we do have enough money. We can go ahead and start construction there. I mean, that's fair. I mean, but here's the thing. Number one, if they could get, I don't know if the original Dr. Evil's still alive. That'd be hilarious. Or you get, I can't remember the guy's name. He plays Chris Griffin. He also played Dr. Evil's son. I cannot remember his name. You can get him, like, as the second Evil Empire, you know. I think it'd be hilarious. Maybe that's just me. So we're spitballing ideas during a live stream about a new show. That's what we do here at on my stream. But if anybody is new here, my name's Friar, or Robbie. A lot of people call me Robbie, or Friar Robbie, or Friar Robbie. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of ways you can pronounce the name. This is what I usually do. We hang out, we talk about some random stuff, and we have fun. That's kind of the whole point. We have fun with this stream, and we talk about some of the most random stuff sometimes. Like when I did Planet Coaster stuff, which I do. If you saw the video starting this stream today, I actually did 25 streams of Planet Coaster. Well, while I was doing that, I was also telling stories when I used to work for Cedar Fair. So, you know, there's some really great situations that came up there. Maybe that's what I should call this month. Mandatory Fun March. I know it's not quite March yet, but Mandatory Fun March. I think it'd be kind of fun. So instead of my countdown screen, it'll just be like Mandatory Fun March. I think, alright, that's a cool idea. Let me write that down. When I say write it down, I legitimately mean write it down. Because especially during a game like this, I don't want to like tab out, especially with this one, because it's an older game and it doesn't like screen resolution changes and things like that. All right, I want to put that somewhere I remember it. And so maybe not next stream, because technically it'd still be February, but maybe next Wednesday we'll start Mandatory Fun March, which sounds a bit ominous too. We'll see. Yeah, it's like fun is not an not an option. That's not good. There is no joy. There is no happiness. There is only fun. Mandatory Fun March. There should be our armory, at least being built. We're slowly also getting some cash in here. We're going to lose a lot of it here in a second, but, you know, it happens. So what do we want to do first? Let's see. That's earplugs. Which one? There's some really odd ones. Like this one. Oh, this one is hilarious. So, this one, I'll go ahead and read. So, stolen secret documents reveal that Anvil is implementing a new round-the-clock offshore patrol system using disguised junks filled with the latest in electronic detection equipment. We can stretch this fledgling operation beyond its breaking point by feeding the local dolphin population fish-wrapped radios and sonar beacons. This is the kind of stuff that happens. This one... So this is a master forger who's languishing in prison. His skills can't be faulted, but his common sense leaves something to be desired. He was only caught because he tried to spend his forged money before the ink had dried. Prison security is relatively lax, so a breakout shouldn't be too difficult, and Frank McGraw would be effective. Two-finger salute to the Saber agents that caught him. So there's some very basic ones here. This one you're just destroying a listening post, and the other one you're stealing, I think it's like Caltech blueprints. Prestigious California University, it doesn't really say Caltech, but you know, kind of idea. Building an extension to their campus library, send some minions to the construction site to pilfer the blueprints and building materials. Once you have set these, the archive room can be built in the base to replenish minion smarts. Seems like it's well worth stealing, I should say. Right, once we get the armory up, though, I think we'll be ready to... once we get the prison cell, I should say, we should at least try to capture the maid. So in that case, let's go ahead and grab... Ooh, we have 9 people out there. What do we really do? All right. So yank him out of there. We're only $1,200. That's a lot of money for one person, but... I can use him to go capture this person. But because we actually only left 2 minions on the island. I guess it's fair. You don't have to have any agents or anything, so it's a little okay. Looks like they're both going to run and grab, hopefully have enough to grab oh, there's 2 briefcases full of money. Never mind. This is one thing that is kind of irksome when you have small amounts of minions. They're not usually able, or they usually have like, a bunch of stuff they usually have to do, but, you know, it happens. But they should now be able to go get that jail cell so we can hopefully start capturing people. We can kind of get the tutorial done. So it looks like we just got briefcases full of money just sitting there. It's pretty funny, actually. I don't think I mean, besides the hotel stuff, we really don't have anything else we can build or plan at this current time. But kind of the idea is I'll put my training center probably right here. Infirmary, if I need to build a second one, will be here. This will probably end up being a larger staff room. The kitchen and a smaller infirmary will probably go up here next to the barracks, because that's kind of the place where everybody hangs out. Laboratory probably down in this corner. I'm thinking what other buildings we need. We might need a second barracks to be able to actually get up to the 100, I think, max. 100 max, or 150. I know the community patch adds some. It doesn't add a whole lot, but it will add some of. It will add some to the total of it all. So it's like we got the timing just about right. Looks like we're bringing in the jail cell now, and Jubei's walking back with the maid in hand, literally. Those are fully charged now. It's pretty good. That should keep our base going. So essentially what those do, so let's say we either lose power or one of our generators gets blown up and we actually go below what we need. So right now we need 30, we can make 65. That's kind of what these two things mean. Let's say this drop below is 30. These will actually keep the base completely powered until either they run out or we put another generator up. Kind of the idea. They can be rather useful, so, you know, it happens. Another briefcase full of money. Alright, well, it looks like we got a decent amount of cash. Now, once we start building the training room, that's going to go out the window because reasons. But I haven't really showed off this screen in this stream through. But if anybody's seen this, this is our minion screen. This is actually, or not, yeah, minion screen. I did together. Minion management. Plaque right there says that. So this is actually where all the minions actually come from. This is where we train them at. As you can see, we have a lot of question marks here. I can actually probably name every minion here. However, so you see here, we got 3 branches. We have the orange, the blue, and the purple. This becomes military, science, and social. I think they actually changed this for Evil Genius 2. I don't think it's social anymore. It's something else. As to what that is, I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure military and science is still in it. Essentially, this one, it's still this kind of the same idea, but it's just called a different name now. But so the maid becomes, will actually get the first social minion. That'll actually become a valet. This becomes a technician. We have to go find both the technician and the guard, which the guard is very useful, so I will probably get him next. But as you can see, we're finally putting our maid in the jail cell. Jubei will kick her and then leave. Now we can get the interrogation chair. Boosh. So you see here, civilian maid yields useful, or could you? Oh, I'm gonna try that sentence again. The civilian maid could yield useful information to your men. Interrogate her to train an advanced minion. Now, right now, we only have the interrogation chair, but as this game is a bit quirky, you know, bit James Bondish, it will actually be, there'll be more interrogation devices that come later. I don't know if there's like a laser one. There is a laser device you can use, and you might be able to actually use that as an interrogation device. And I could be wrong about that. I don't remember if that is one of them. Because I know there's quite a few you can do. There's a big kitchen mixer that you mix some people up in that. And that's actually an objective we have to do. So I don't know. So we've got to try different interrogation devices this time, because I think it'd be kind of fun. We can try out, you know, the laboratory. I think it's got a bunch. The kitchen has one. The infirmary has 1 or 2. Yeah, I just think it'd be kind of fun. one of my more favorite things to do, and you can do this a little later. I don't, we don't have to set up for it right this second. But my brain just kind of like got stuck for a second. One of my favorite things to do though is actually confuse minions. So you actually can psychologically weaken minions until they forget what they're doing, and then you put them in a casino. Like you just push them out into your casino or your hotel, whatever, and they'll just act like a civilian, like they're on vacation or something like that. Best thing to do. Usually with the super agents you can't do that, but with some of the smaller agents you can. All right, so I'm gonna pull 4 of these guys back. We'll still get a little bit of money coming in. However, once we unlock this, or once we get this one, it'll actually start sending agents after us, and I want to make sure we have a little bit of force. Solid. Yet usually, I hate to say this, while you have some really smart minions, most of them are not great. I'll be honest with you. Leave stuff outside. They leave money outside a lot. So not ideal. This is also something I like. People do this a lot, and I don't mind this at all. People will put my stream up, kind of listen to it on their phone or on a second screen like I have, and they'll play the game themselves. I like that because then we can also kind of talk to each other like, hey, what are you doing here? How are you doing this? And I actually enjoy this. Now, if you look at our interrogation methods, a little unorthodox, maybe, but it works. As you can see here, we are creating our first one. There we go. So there is our valet. That's the first one we get. So now, game's gonna lag for just a second while it saves the game. We can get security cameras, security desk, security loudspeaker, training room, handgun cabinet, rifle cabinet, mess hall, staff room, inner sanctum. So now we've got a new objective. So that was kind of the evil intentions. That's what this top section was called. Now we're actually moving on to our second one. So there can only be one criminal mastermind. That's us. Take time to make sure that it's you. Fair enough. Gather all the major criminal players to a conference in your island to explain how it's going to be. So essentially we have to go out to the world and actually get all these different people to come to us. Now what happens is that some of these, I think this one, Lei Ying Lo, is actually one that you need to get through notoriety. Well, you have to get enough notoriety for him to actually, the mission to pop up. So you got to be kind of careful with that. But now we can start laying out some more rooms. And actually do a little bit more base construction. First thing I want to build is actually the inner sanctum. This is actually kind of the if this was a James Bond movie, this is where the evil genius would spend most of his time. Like this is where he'd be plotting, and for some reason I guess that's not big enough, so we're going to have to build this room just a little bit larger. There we go. We might need to make it a little bit larger still. I'm trying to save some room, especially with this one, since it's really only used for this objective and then an objective on the second island. So it's not really a huge deal to have that around. Second room I want to build though is do a mess room down here, or do we want to do that up here? Let's see if we can maybe do an open concept one up here. And what I mean by that is literally just putting, we need to make it one wider to actually make this work properly. And you know what? Actually, I want to redo this. I want to move this down to, ooh, that won't work. I want to move it down just a little bit. We actually might be able to offset. We can do something like that. I'm okay with just doing that. So it's kind of a cheap mess hall for right now. We want to get the human mixer and the counter. And we'll also get a time clock in there. How much is it going to cost us? Around about 3,000. About 3,000 bucks. It's not terrible. So we've got the inner sanctum done. I also want to place
Do we want to do an infirmary? We don't have an infirmary because the way you get to get an infirmary is you have to have somebody die. So not ideal, but that is the way we have to do that. Put a door here, just kind of section off the base a little bit. I'm also want to get just 1 or 2 fire extinguishers around. Probably not there, because we don't really need one there. But, you know, just to make sure, because we do have valets. Because valets, unfortunately, are the only ones that can actually use the fire extinguishers. Seems a little backwards, but alright. That's going to be our training room here. It's going to cost us a little bit of money. I'm not going to say it's not. Let's go ahead and do 2 punching bags. We'll do a laboratory. And we'll do a school desk. I'll even tell you a funny story. So I actually thought originally when I first started playing this game, you gotta remember, I think I got this game when I was in 6th grade. So it's been a while. I just graduated college. I actually thought you needed this and then like desk, and that's how you trained all your minions. Like it was a school desk and like a teacher's desk. That's how I thought originally. Learned kind of quickly that's not how that works. Still rather funny though. So now we can actually probably get our staff room right here. Let's do a smaller one. And I think we can put the infirmary here. I think that'd be a good spot for it. And for right now, we'll kind of leave a lot of this stuff to if we need to make it grow a little bit. Like if we wanted to make the staff room kind of wrap around the infirmary or the armor, we can. Hold on, I've never seen. Hold on, time out. I've never seen this before. The lazy minion reclining chair. I've never seen that. That's actually pretty funny. A drink, like I was expecting the drink machine and the ping pong table, but I was not expecting a lazy boy. That's pretty funny, actually. Let's get rid of this one. Just kind of keep costs down, you know. Still keeping up with stuff like that, but you know it happens. Okay. That might be why I didn't see it before, is that, I think it's actually part of the community patch, is they allowed the lazy minion. So we can get this corridor going, because we'll get that corridor, and we'll also get this guy going. But as you can see here, we actually do have the capture guard mission. We actually have 5 minions out in the world, so let's go ahead and do the capture guard mission. While not ideal, since we don't have any like access in this region. If you see here, this is the access we need to kind of see what's going on, things like that. But hey, there we go. I'm playing this game again and I'm finding new stuff that apparently is part of pre-order, but you know that works too. Now, if you're kind of curious, the valet kind of works kind of like the construction worker. However, they can't do construction themselves. They can actually order things, move things around. Pretty much every minion can move things. But they can also purchase things for you. I think that's the only social minion that can. But they also can operate things like this. They can also operate the kitchen, things like that. So it's not too bad with how the minion or how the social minions go. Now, usually that's the smallest ones I keep. I don't keep a lot of social minions just because they're there for distraction, essentially. When you go out on Acts of Infamy, each branch has something they do special for your missions. Your guard minions help keep your minions alive. They kind of guard the rest of them. Kind of makes sense. Your science minions help reduce the time that it takes to get an act of infamy done. And your social minions actually reduce the amount of heat that a act of infamy causes. Now, that's actually not the worst stat for that, you know, to help reduce heat. But I feel like if you have enough guards or anything like that, you really don't. I mean, essentially, you just gotta go back to your base kind of quickly and defend it if need be. And so, to me, it's like, it's kind of, if you have more military minions, you really don't need many social minions. But hey, that's just me. See here? we actually lost a couple of our people, but you know that's expected. We lost 3 workers, but they'll respawn. That's no big deal. Workers, workers are not one that you really need to do a lot with. However, when you start losing things like marksmen, martial artists, which come later, or some of the higher end tier minions, those are a little harder to replace because you got to remember they have to train first to guard, like the military. Then you get this is the military branch. I remember. So the first thing you get to guard, and then you go up to mercenary, and then you either go to marksman or the martial artist. So you have to then train one person to go all the way through that. Or like let's say you have an extra mercenary that gets trained to a marksman, then you get to train a guard to a mercenary, and then you have to train a construction worker to a guard. It just does take a little while. On the bright side, though, a guard can, or like a mercenary can train a guard, marksman can train a mercenary, things like that. So that they can train down, they just can't train up by themselves. So, like, kind of give the example. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to at least get this to 3. We'll get these guys to 5. I know I want to build more stuff in the barracks and get these guys to 5. Because technicians, they do reduce time. They also help you find more acts of infamy out in the world. That's what the plotting thing does. So if you see here, if we click on a region, there's not really, there's 3 buttons here. There's plotting, stealing, and hiding. Stealing is kind of obvious. We were stealing money. Or it's plotting. I'm sorry. This is stealing. So when they steal money, they steal money, and they will bring that back to you. That's what we were doing earlier. Plotting helps you find more acts of infamy, and that's what the technicians are great at. The science minions are great at. The technicians are okay. The other one's hiding. So, like, let's say there's a agent of justice in that region. You actually have to. They are at a higher likelihood to die. So you hide them, and so they can't steal or plot or anything, but they also can't be killed. Kind of a good trade-off, I would think. All right, well, looks like we got a agent of justice in there. And if he gets to Maximilian, I'm going to be a little upset. I mean, right now we wouldn't be that noticeable, and we have 1 notoriety. It's like, all right, well, I think it can go up to what, 300 or 200? I don't remember which one it is. But it's something like that. But there's that guy dead. We do want to get Jubei trained up a little bit more. Just so that he can start learning some of his skills. So if you look here, he actually has 2 skills. He has Windwalk and he has Eviscerate. And if I'm not mistaken, he's 150 points. And you get points by killing agents. So when you get him trained up, and at least in that, Windwalk's kind of nice because like he can just teleport around the map, but it does take a little bit to cool down. So it's not too great, but it does work pretty well. We need to get a training room up kind of pronto. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to cost pretty much what I have in the bank right now. So it's a little slow going for a little bit on that. What I'd like to see also is that... so there is our guard there. What I'd like to see is I would like to see, or I'm trying to get the training up and then start training a bunch of guards up, and we get 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and then be able to go out and have them steal, because they're actually really good at stealing compared to the worker, which is only okay. But as you can see here, the question marks have now gone. They've actually gone now to different values. Like in the Midwest here, it's 9 and 7. So what that means is that $9 is the most amount of money you can kind of steal from here, but 7 is the amount of law enforcement they have, so it's kind of high here. In the bigger parts like the Middle East, same way, 9 and 7. Usually Europe's the same way, but like here in Siberia, it's a 4 and 4. The Polynesia, which is 1 and 1, Australia's 2 and 2. Anvil's 6, which I think that's where we need to go to get the technician. So that might be a bad place to actually plop a few of our guys. We'll do 5 guys there just to start stealing some stuff, and then eventually we'll actually steal the technician. Because we do have, we'll send enough workers out there so we can steal the technician. Also, I will reduce that to 10. But what that is, it doesn't kill anybody off. What will happen is that once they train either a guard, technician, or valet, they just won't replenish that person, essentially. So it's not like it's the worst thing to have that kind of people, but we do need to get some more lockers in here now that I am thinking about this. Now, what the other thing is that kind of stinks is that this only allows, each locker only allows you to put 1 more minion in. Kind of bugs me a little bit. And I kind of hope, they looks like they kind of fixed that a little bit, maybe balance it a little bit better in the new game. But we're getting a few agents around, and, you know, not ideal. But it does happen, you know. Because here everybody's scrambling to get enough money so they can build what the 4 things we have in here. So they aren't quite out there yet. 'Cause I think I heard the helicopter coming in. There's a little bit of animation you can kind of see here. Eventually, I do want to get like a security system set up, which is a little more involved, I should say. But so far, not too terrible. Quickly through out here now. So they are stealing some stuff. They're getting about $2,000 every minute, which is not terrible. We could do that. I don't want to do that quite yet. I want to get a little bit more money so we can at least get this done, so that, you know, we can start training more of our minions up. It's kind of the goal right now, at least. That depot's empty. Any money? No. Looks like a lot of the agents are still snooping around a little bit. Not ideal, however. I can actually probably move this guy into here, our evil genius. Just because, number one, it does help a little bit to kind of keep these guys focused. So. Seems like everybody wants to work down here. I really don't need that, so let's get rid of one of them. Maybe he might destroy it, maybe not. So unfortunately, I think they're going to get into our base. So let's actually send Jubei back just for now. Just that we have a little bit better defense, because unfortunately you cannot control your minions directly. Like if I click on him, I can't actually do anything. Like I can't tell him to go kill this guy. However, with Jubei I can. So let's go ahead and kill these 4 people. So this might be the case where we actually lose a minion. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope, there he goes. So we did lose a minion, so now we can actually buy the infirmary. Kind of the good idea to kind of get that out of the way really early when it's a very low amount of agents. But now we can put up our infirmary over here. What this will allow is our, ooh, it's like a corridor. It's not ideal. Is there another, maybe, aha, right there. Actually, might be a little bit better place to put this. I think that'll work. Because right now, essentially, this is all the infirmary is just two booths that they can get medication at. That's all the infirmary is right now. But it does look like we are buying some stuff, so hopefully here we can start training. We do have our minions still stealing. Now, once we steal these guys like the guard, there's a little bit of a cooldown, but if for some reason our guard dies, we actually can get another one back. It does help quite a bit. Looks like they were able to get all 4 of them, so that is good to see. Where is our henchman at? There he is. So I'm going to go down and take out these 2 guys before they really get annoying. Because we can take them out now. Number one, Jubei can level up hopefully here soon. But at the same time, they can, we don't have to worry about them later. Kind of easy. Well, they could also be getting lockers. I forgot about that. We were doing that. Yikes. Alright, well. So those are only $1,000 a piece, aren't they? Well. Not ideal. So let's see. All these are $5,000, so it might take us a little bit longer to get those, but you know, we should have enough capacity now to hold 23 units. I should be exact. Once we get there, well, it'll be 24 actually, so we can probably get our 11th minion there. We'll do that. Why not? Also, now that we're starting to see this a little bit more, you can kind of see that these guys are kind of just stuck here. They have low stats, I think, in focus and in loyalty. So, they don't know what to quite do. Usually with that, you just kind of have to have them rest. But that's also why you have social minions. They actually help them to... oh, I just clicked off the screen there. Whoopsies. Thought I didn't do that, but let me fix that. There we go. And we get the game back up going. You hit the wrong button there. That was not ideal. But we're back in it. We're all good. Nope. Now we're going to get some deserters. So what does that mean? Oh, he needs help now. I don't think he's going to... you know what? Let's go ahead and capture him. So essentially what's going on is that when loyalty gets too low, people will start to try to desert. And they'll run back to the normal world, which is boring. How we can fix that? There's a couple ways. Number one, if they were all in the control room here, if we executed one of them, kind of stir up the loyalty a little bit. Yeah, let's say I know we can do some executions. I know we can do if we actually get some loot. Loot always usually helps. Usually also give them some time off. Like if you turn off things like the control room and let them kind of free roam for a little bit, usually their stats will come back kind of slowly, but it does come back. Yeah, say with minions like that though, number one, you need to kill these people. Where's Jubei at? He's capturing that person. They're still in need of help, so they'll just continue to be okay. The guard, our guard's supposed to be guarding, and unfortunately he's just standing there. There we go, so that should be taken care of. No big deal at all. So there is that. So here's what I want to do, guys. Since we have a good stopping point right this second, I'm going to run and use the restroom really quick. Should be a moment or two. I'll let the game music kind of play so you guys can listen to that. It's a really good soundtrack. I'm also thinking it might still be for free. Could be wrong about that. But I'll let you guys listen to the soundtrack real quick. I want to just take a quick break and we're going to use the restroom. I'm also going to save the game. This is going to be called Stream Playthrough. Oh, play tough. All right. Solid. There we go. So I've saved it now. So I'll let you guys enjoy the music, and I will be right back. Alrighty, everybody. I am back. So I told you it wouldn't take but a moment or so. Let's get back into it here. Perfect. In theory, I probably should have let the game run, but especially during this time, I don't know what's going to happen. Because it very well could be that somebody comes in and just kills Maximilian, and then we miss the cool cutscene. So, you know, I'm just going to let it run like this. Yeah, we're not going to capture him until he runs out, so... Oh, well. Yeah, Mariana Mamba is the first super agent we'll meet. So we do have these agents of justice that we see walking around. These guys right here. The investigators, the burglars, things like that. So nothing too crazy. Then they have super agents. The super agents are kind of like your heroes. Each agency has their own. You know, it's not ideal for them or us. It's great for them. Got another free thinker. He's running out now. But now we can start doing guard training. We need to get that going here soon. You know what we're going to do, though? Do we actually have... Are we already doing that mission? Let's turn off this area so our workers can kind of relax it for a minute or two. You get some food. Maybe get some sleep. Because that's all something it's important. To keep your evil organization going, you need to take care of your minions. Things like food, water, and a bunk bed is actually suffice. Can I come up with that top of my head here? Still, I mean, so far, it seems like this is going okay. Now, this is the first time I think I've played on medium. You can play on easy because why not? But it looks like our valet is not really doing much for us here. But hopefully here soon we'll start training more minions up, so we have more minions at the base. Kind of helps a little bit as well. We can probably go ahead and release him since his loyalty now, the blue bar, is all the way up. See here. Let's go ahead and release him. There we go. So now he's completely loyal. The only thing he can't rejuvenate in prison is actually his health. There we go. So we've got the capture technician, but we do have a little bit more heat here. All but one worker died. So not ideal. However, it's better than unfortunately if all of our minions die or we go into hiding, we actually lose that mission. So gotta be careful about that sometimes. But we have gotten away with some, or we've gotten away with all of them. So it's not like it's a huge deal right this second. So we are down a couple of minions there. Oh no. A super agent bugged? No, you shouldn't take advantage of that and kill them instantly. Or knock them out. You can't really, unfortunately, in this game, you can't really kill your super agents. There's like an entire backstory you have to go through before you kill them. Can be a little annoying. Anyways. For Mayor Adamamba, you actually have to get your infirmary up and going. You have to have a auto surgeon. You have to do like a mission, and then you have to you just have to oh, hold on, capture him please, because that guy is important. Now something that is kind of cool is since they're still technically your minion, every time you double click on them they will salute you, which slows them down. As you can see here, Jubei has already caught up with him. And he's already saluting. And he's knocked out. Pretty simple. That's something that I accidentally found out. I think some people have mentioned that on some of the forums and things like that. Let's go ahead and interrogate that guy so we can get our technician going. And we have a free jail cell then. You know, always important to have an open jail cell. But it is kind of hard to believe, number one, that I've been streaming for a year tomorrow. It's a little bit ludicrous to think about. But also at the same time, it's been almost a year since I started streaming Evil Genius. It's one of the first games I streamed on here. But probably one of my favorite games that has come out. Kind of, if I make a top 10 list of my favorite games, this would probably be in there somewhere. Probably around 5 or 6, if I had to guess. So I've never really actually sat down and like, all right, what games would be my favorite? I know this may be a little surprising. Mech Warrior 3 is going to be on there. We did play through Mech Warrior 5, which is a fantastic game, but number 3 really is one of the ones I played, kind of what got me into it. Evil Genius would be on there, of course. Things like World of Warcraft, I put a ton of time in that game, and it is fantastic. However, I don't think World of Warcraft is the best MMO out there, or was the best MMO, I should say. It still is a great game. There's Star Wars Galaxies is probably what I would consider the best MMO. And it's flaws, of course, but to me, that is like, if I'm thinking MMO, if I wanted to create my own MMO, I gotta take care of that. Oh, they're sending a burglar after us. Anyways, if I were to say, hey, the best MMO would be Star Wars Galaxies, and that's kind of your top, maybe not top 5. I'm not putting them in order, but that's 5 games I would think. To me, those are probably some of the best. Stardew Valley is a more recent one, which is fantastic, especially if you love like Harvest Moon games, which I did growing up. It is probably one of my favorites. So I mean, yeah, just stuff like that. It is fantastic, but maybe I should sit down one time and do that. And just, hey, this is my top 10 list of games of my favorite games of all time, and then maybe play them on stream once. Might be kind of fun. Alright, so it's like we're training up another guard, so that is always good. Where are we not in trouble? I think Europe. We'll send maybe 3 or 4 guys out there. At least until we get the guards going. And then once we get guards going, we'll send a couple of those guys out. But we need to get some more money so we can start training these guys, or we can start buying stuff like this. It always seems like in this game, and maybe this is just me thinking this, and maybe other people have played this game, but it's like this game, like you can play this for hours and not think about it. There's games like that. I think this is one of them. Because I said, like, oh crap, like I was looking down at the time, and it's like, it's already, I stream for usually about 3 hours every time, and we're already halfway done with this, just over halfway. So it's like, oh, well, this is a bit surprising. And so there is 10 objectives you need to do. And so hopefully I can get 1 done each stream. That's kind of the idea. That we put us at 10 streams, roughly about 3 hours for each objective. I think it can be done, especially if we can get our base pretty well running this episode. We've already got the first one done. So we are on part 2. We're on Head of the Underworld. Hopefully we can get that done next stream. I know it's not too difficult. You have to get your notoriety up, though, and that's kind of the issue. So I might have to do a little bit of grinding off stream, but nothing too crazy. I might grind for some money. I might do some very basic acts of infamy, just so that we can kind of keep that pace up. And so they're getting about $1,600, so it's not ideal. However, we can start training up once we get these guys trained up, we'll be good there. But they're doing much there. So by the way, this is kind of how they're training. So this is what they are. This is what they're trying to become. This bar will slowly fill up as long as none of this goes to 0. I mean, if they lose health, they're dead. It doesn't really work out pretty well. Loyalty, they can run to 0, and usually it's okay. But if they lose focus, smarts, or strength, this one they'll pass out. These two they'll become like stupid. They'll sit there and scratch their heads. So it's not ideal, but you know. So eventually we'll have another guard here, and then usually once you get 2 of them, training is a little bit faster. However, we don't have all the equipment that we need. Usually the guards I'll keep the most training for. Then usually I'll have 2 science labs, and usually I'll keep 2 or 3 school desks, because they're usually pretty cheap. Now that we've got 2 guards here, we are well on our... Well, actually we have 3 guards. Holy cow. Because we already have 1 guy trained, and then didn't even see that one. Alright. So what we can do now is let's go ahead and send a guard out here, just so that we have we'll have some decent military at the base, but we'll also have some outstealing in the world. If you look here, let me click on the workers. So here's terrible at stealing, terrible at planning, and poor in guarding other units. Now, when the guard gets out here, we can I can show you what he's good at and what he's not. Also, grab another bottle of water because, reasons. But, I got it in a nice cherry flavor this time because why not? Oh, I forgot that cherry's a little tart. But there we go. Let's see. What is these two dots? There is two agents of justice in my base. That should not be. There we go. Jubei's not really even close to... he's about halfway there to getting his eviscerate. Which eviscerate is... Ooh, that's the wrong way. I always like keeping my map in the same direction every time. Maybe that's just me, kind of like RTS style, but... Still waiting on that guard to get out there. I'm taking a helicopter, maybe? It looks like he is. Alright. He should be out there momentarily. Getting some money in. Another guard is ready, so we have 4 now. Do we want to go up to... Let's do that and increase it by 1. So we can send 3 guards out and kind of feel a little bit safer about doing so. See here, this guy is fair at stealing, terrible at plotting, but good guarding other people. So, not too bad at all. We can see here, we went from what, 800 to 2400, so we got $800. So the worker can get about $400 per minion. The guards get about $600 per minion. So yeah, you can kind of see how that works out. Looks like we are getting another form of training equipment. Looks like it's going to be the laboratory. So we can get our technicians up and running here. In that case, we can hopefully get our valets up and running here soon-ish. You know what, though? With this, I'm actually going to cut this room in half. Rotate that to there. Just so that we can actually afford this. We can always expand it later. It's not like it's a huge thing. But as you can see, some of our minions are actually starting to relax a little bit more. They'll be able to actually work in the kitchen, things like that. But also because we lost 4 people. Holy cow. That's why you don't have... That's why you need to keep an eye on these people sometimes. Because we just lost, what, 3 construction workers? And a guard? Not ideal. Not ideal in the least bit. But that's why you just got to keep an eye on them. Because if you look here, our heat's a little high. It's a little bit calmer. Starting to calm down a little bit. Because if we don't do any axim, we kind of lay low for a little bit, that heat will come down eventually. But it does happen. Looks like Fridge having some issues with her. So what it is, if you look, let me turn over to Jubei. So if you look at Jubei here, he's a little bit different than other not minions in the game. So he actually has 3 lives. Your normal minions only have 1. They die, they die. You just gotta replace them. With Jubei, he has 3 lives. However, a normal agent of justice cannot kill him. The only way that Jubei or any henchman can be killed is that they have to be killed 3 times by a super agent. Mariana Mamba, unfortunately, it is one of those that that's the first one we'll see. So yeah, it does. I actually lost. If you watch, if you're new here, if you watch the last stream we did of this, you actually can see that kind of in action. I actually did lose one of my henchmen because of that. It might have been to Mariana Mamba too. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I do know it was actually the pre-order guy that died. So very unfortunate, but Speaking of being new to this game, if you're actually new to this channel, number 1, welcome. I do appreciate you guys stopping by and taking a look at Evil Genius 1. We're playing this because Evil Genius 2 comes out on March 30th. So we wanted to kind of get back into the thing, kind of get back into the rhythm of actually being an evil genius and things like that. But if you're new here, leave a follow. We're doing this for the entire month of March. So I think we're doing 10 streams in March. So we're doing it for all 10 of those. 10 in March, and the last week of February is also going to be Evil Genius. So if you guys are wanting to stick around from that, I do stream 2 times a week. So if the best way to kind of know when I'm streaming is leave a follow. Usually it's Wednesdays and Fridays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, it's actually a great way just to kind of keep up with me. Usually, I try to do at least 2. Every once in a while, I'll have something severe that comes up. And I'm like, all right, I can't do stream. Thankfully, it's been kind of calm the last couple of weeks. The last time something like that happened was early January. I actually had some sort of just some sort of lung infection or something like that. Wasn't COVID or anything, thankfully, but just felt kind of down. Just didn't really feel like streaming. So hey, that's kind of my little spiel, I guess you could say. Let's see, have we got people back out here? We do, just not a whole lot. Let's get another guard out there. Let's get 2 more workers, just so that we can try to get a little bit more money coming in, because our infirmary is going to cost us a pretty penny. Let's see, this is going to cost 3,300. We have the money, but the infirmary boosts are 5,000 each. So let's go ahead and demolish one of them. So maybe we can have, hopefully here soon we can have enough to get that completed. And then at least then we can have all of our minions don't die on us. We'll slowly start training up more and more people, and then we'll see how that works. So here we do have people out eating at our cafeteria. So once you get enough people, I mean, things like scientists and everything, we'll start working in kitchen, things like that, so that not all your workers or your valets are actually doing things like this. So they actually have time to take a break, eat, things like that. No more agents out here, looks like. We're doing okay on that. That was not ideal the first time. Like our minions are going out now. Let's go ahead and have Jubei take care of that guy for us. We funds low once again because we are going to be low on money to get that infirmary built. There we go. We're got a lot more tourists on the island, if you see here. So these are just random civilians that have come to this island. They don't do anything. Essentially, the only good thing that they can do is if you build a casino or something like that, you can get some money off of them. Really, that's just it. What do we got here, though? We have another agent. We have another burglar. They're going to be trying to steal our money and or loot, which we don't have any loot right now, but don't have anybody, don't have any agents out there quite yet. We're getting a decent amount of money still. Getting about $2,800 back, so that's not terrible. Send another guard out there. I'd like to keep 2 at the base just in case. And that did rhyme just a little bit there. Let's go ahead and have Jubei come out here and take this guy out, just so that we can hopefully get Eviscerate going there. I might wait though and have him get Windwalker, or not Windwalker. What's the other one he has? Is it Windwalker? Yeah, Windwalk. Windwalker is the what I used to call one of the Zelda games, when I didn't know it was actually called Wind Waker. Fair enough. Did play through that game quite a bit as a kid. So I think once we get our infirmary done, which might take a little bit, we'll probably need to do a staff room next so we can kind of keep their loyalty up. We've been having some issues with that. And then probably the inner sanctum, and then, I mean, that'll be all we have currently. but I think that should be okay. We probably need to start upgrading some of these rooms. Like the barracks might need to add a couple more beds. We'll also need to add some more lockers in here as well. The control room will probably need some computers eventually, because eventually these actually do a little more powerful. Like right now this says we only need 2 more consoles, but maybe here in the US or the Eastern US we need 6. So it gets quite a bit. But we're up to $3,600 every 60 seconds now. Do we have our 5th guard? So no, we don't have. So once we get to our 6th guard, I'm going to send the last guard out so he can start stealing more money. So we can get around, we'll probably get close to $4,200 if I had to guess. I think that's a good amount. We can kind of keep that going. Well, at least we train our staff and things like that. Train our staff, our minions up into whatever we need them to do. Looks like we got that last guard, so we'll go ahead and send him out. For some reason, the technicians all of a sudden just flew up. I don't know how that happened, but all right. So that's pretty nice. But you know what? Before this stream wraps up, we still got about an hour. I do want to do an act of infamy or 2. Probably do something like this. Pretty simple. Earplug, probably be a good one to do. Notice these are all in different regions, and they all just need workers. But what I'll do is I'll send guards with them, just in case. Just kind of make sure they're defended and everything like that. So, smart thing to do. I could have some scientists go out in the world and start plotting. Probably wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Let's send them over to here. We'll have them do some plotting. Because I know that's where the one for the U.S. is. The Marvin DeLuca. He's actually in on the west coast of America. So, kind of makes some sense. Trying to figure out what these guys were doing out here. I just saw this. He looks like he was just talking to a wall. There's another worker down there. But I think now we should, well, here in a second, we should have enough for our infirmary. So that should be all well taken care of. Actually, it might be done here. So let's get this back up and going. Because I do want to start doing some of the acts of infamy things. Ooh, we lost somebody. Looks like we lost just a worker. However, what do we need there? We can actually do that pretty simply. The other one, we just need 2 workers over here. But the reason I wanted to do that is that, or activate our command center, is that I can go out and start doing some acts of infamy. Like here, this is going to take us 30 seconds to do this, so it's not terrible. I kind of want our science minions over there, though. Kind of nice. But oh well. We can go here. So we generate quite a bit of heat here, which is not ideal, but you know what happens. I might need to send 2 workers there, because I got a feeling we might lose some workers here. But might as well. Let's cause a little ruckus, you know? Really start getting under the skin of the local governments and things like that. And boosh. Yes, in every act of infamy you do, there is a radio broadcast, which I think is hilarious. 2, 3. That should drop off the 2 we need there. Well, I actually need a 3rd over there. So we'll have those guys just do some stealing. But you see here, even with our guys out here, we have quite a bit of heat. So, not ideal, but it does happen. Maybe we did lose a guard. Maybe I'm just not seeing things right. Alright, so it looks like we've got the infirmary built, so everything's up and going again. So let's actually add a second punching bag here, so that we can actually have multiple guards training at once. So it's a good idea, at least in the way I play usually. that, you know, kind of how it happens. They drop off that one worker. Maybe not. All right, well, that's going to take us a minute. But yeah, once we get some plotting done over here, we can kind of see some of the other missions we can do. Anything new over? I thought we could do. This actually needs 3 up and going. So what I mean by computers is we need this whole console here. So we need 3 of these totally manned. So we need 6 people working on this just to get it to work. Later on, you actually can get one that is half the size. It takes the same amount of power, but it only runs by 1 person. So that makes it a little bit easier on you, but, you know. There we go. We got some cash flow finally in. What I want to do, though, is kind of show off all the minions in the game. Oh, hold on. Name's Johnny. Thank you for the follow, sir. Do appreciate it. Let's see here. So we've got that in there. So now our scientists are kind of is going to help. So if you look here, we've actually lost 6 seconds off this, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and go there. We were going to call some heat there, but yeah, you know that happens. You're not going to get notoriety and fame without a little bit of heat. Oh, we already lost a person. Not ideal. We lost a construction worker, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And, oh crap. Well, we lost another person. We can't do airport. We need 4 of them. Let's get another construction worker. We get 2 more and 3 of those guys. We'll have them do plotting. While they're not the best at plotting in the world, that will help us a little bit. We'll need a second worker for there. So they're going to get another worker there. Hopefully we'll be able to do that mission here soon. Alright, so that guy is still being trained. Essentially we lost 1 guard and we've lost a couple construction workers. So it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. And we got a little bit of notoriety. We're up to 12 so far. Oh, it's out of 500. I couldn't remember how much. I think we got about 300 last time. 300 or 400. I don't remember exactly how it was, but you know, it happens. So hopefully you guys are in this for the long haul. We've got, well, essentially about 9 1/3 streams left until the new game releases, at least for me. You know, sorry, I wonder if there's any other people that's actually playing this right now. I could be wrong. They probably, yes, it probably is. This game was a big enough hit. I would say it's kind of a cult classic, I should say. That there would be enough people to go out and do this. Now, if you see here, this game kind of helps you a little bit on how many people you need to train. Because right now we need 5 technicians. Essentially, we just have to go in and sneak in to these guys. You know. But we actually have a couple more that are popping up here. Golden opportunity, you know. Essentially, so you gotta remember this is a little bit older game. So this is actually when like the U.S. was on the gold standard. Essentially, they're saying that there's a bunch of gold here, and we can actually go blow it up. So, but you're right. There is not enough Dungeon Keeper-esque games or people that enjoy stuff like that. Maybe that's just me, but like this is there actually was a Dungeon Keeper and a Dungeon Keeper 2. And there was this game. And that's kind of, at least to me, that was the only ones that were really out there. I mean, if you think about maybe more mobile-wise, kind of... I mean, Fallout Shelter, I would say something similar to that. But maybe that's just me. This wouldn't surprise me if this game has the best traps, because you think about this. If you can pull from every James Bond movie, every James Bond villain, Austin Powers, any spy movie you can pull from, it can be in this game. It kind of fits well in this game. You know, it's just, to me, that makes a lot of sense. So I don't know how much we need there, but, you know, that's okay. So after we're done here, I think we need to head to probably the Middle East here, because we haven't done an act of infamy there. I'll drop a couple people off there and start stealing from the Middle East, and we can try to get some money going from there. Then we can start working on our staff room next, which our staff room is going to cost just over $4,000. So it's not like it's, you know, a lot, but the vending machines are $1,000 a piece. These are $5,000 a piece, and the tables are $2,000. So 2, 4, get about $9,000 in furniture there. So that'll be about $13,000 that we'll need. Still on that mission, we don't have any intel there, but not ideal. Even with all of our machines going, we don't have enough intel. I guess we must be one short. Yep. So we might need to actually build that next. Build another console so that these people are just wandering around here can actually... Ooh, those are $10,000 a piece. I don't think we will be building that right this second here. But we have a lot of people just kind of lying around that very well could be on another console so that we can get that intel that we need. Anything yet? Nope. Alright, well, I guess we won't know until it actually pops. So, alright, we're getting some more investigators. We're getting some more, ooh, an exceptional burglar, which is not ideal. Really, the burglars, things like that, I'm not too concerned of. What I'm concerned about is exceptional soldiers. They have the most health and they do the most damage. I mean, you know, RimWorld, I could see being kind of a lair builder like this, but I think you're right. The traps in that game, unless you add mods into it, which that game's actually pretty good with mods. I've played with a couple of them, which actually RimWorld might be a fun one to do on stream. Didn't even think about that, but it might be kind of fun to do after Evil Genius. Honestly, you gotta remember though, Fridge, I'm also playing this on medium, so. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, I do have two exceptional burglars somewhere. Actually, they're at the front doors. Not ideal. All right, let's send these guys to the Middle East. We do have one of the agents of justice out there. We'll just have them start stealing. We have about $2,400. It's not terrible. We'll also get our scientists out of there for right now. But where do we want to send them? We can send them to somewhere in like either Europe, maybe Australia. Let's go to Australia. Have them do some plotting. Take a look here. That also might be why everything's costing more, is that it's just I'm also playing on harder difficulty. Looks like my hub's costing me $100,000. If you're curious there. So it might be the same price. I'm not 100% sure. Hey, Dubé can actually finally learn that ability. But I actually don't want to do that yet. I'm going to go ahead and kill these people, though. So you might be on hard. I'm only on medium. Because I wanted to give myself a little more of a challenge in this playthrough. Because the fact that the first time we played through this, I played it on medium or easy, which, you know, can make sense. It also makes sense why I'm having more money issues than last time. I always get a little nervous when I see large groups of agents around, because it's like, are they soldiers? Because usually soldiers travel in groups of like 4 or 5. Usually, there's some like in 3. Every once in a while we'll see, but you know, most of the time you'll see large groups. Those are soldiers, and those are not fun. Not fun at all. All right, cool. Well, look at that. We got our first piece of loot we can go steal. It's the I Spy. Essentially, they're developing. This is a new, the large planetarium and observatory facility in the region has recently become a hotbed of activity. They're taking part in a research experiment utilizing revolutionary equipment, which is still in development. Staring into space is such a waste of valuable time. Why don't we appropriate the new technology and see if we can come up with a more interesting application? A bonus is that we get a whole place under bonus is that the whole place is under protection of Saber, giving us another chance to show the world what a bunch of cretins they really are. So yeah, so this is we're starting to get some more. There's burning the national parks, which burning in Australia probably not ideal, right? You know, still a little touchy, not ideal, but you know. But this is the kind of stuff we start out with. We start blowing up bullion. We start stealing stuff. We're feeding dolphins beacon fish so that it scares some of the governments thinking they're under attack. Things like that, you know. Make sure that those agents are taken care of with Jubei. Actually, looks like our workers might take this agent out before Jubei actually gets there. Well, looks like he did. Jubei wasn't even getting over there. He just kind of walked around the strong room. All right, well, not ideal. So let's see if we can find. So I guess what we can do to help with this one, we can at least try to figure out where the other three people are. So the Indian subcontinent, I do know he's technically in India. If that makes sense. This one I don't remember. He is either here or he's here, and I think he's here. Which kind of makes sense, but so I guess what we can do is send our guys from there to here, do some more plotting. And hopefully we can figure out where these three guys are. And the next stream when we open up, we can actually really start diving into trying to capture him. We might try to capture one this episode. But if you look here, we actually do need 5 technicians, which we do have. Which is a bit risky because we only have space for... we actually have space for more. We'll need 5 of each. So let's go ahead and just train 6 of each. So that if we send all of them out and they all die, we have one at the base, we can train them all back up. It's kind of the idea, at least. Hopefully that kind of pans out that way. Speaking of panning out, let's go ahead and actually build another control panel here so that we can hopefully get some more intel. That's kind of the idea, at least. The other thing I wanted to do is try to get another research station for both. That'll cost us about 10 grand for both, which I think we should have enough money for. And we'll get a mouse maze. I get distracted very easily, and we need a mouse maze. So we're going to get one. We might not have enough money for all that, but we are stealing money currently. Alright, so there is that guy taken care of. That's the guy we need 5 valets for, so that kind of makes sense. This last guy, we should need 5 guards for. So the game kind of helps you a little bit. It's like, alright, we need 5 of each of these guys. Next time we'll need 3 of each of the next ones, or 4 of each of the next ones. There's some you need like 8 of the technically the tier 2 science minions. There's one, it's a conference that they all try to attend, and they steal stuff for you. So it's probably just, no, it's actually they're breaking into the barracks. Not ideal, I'll be honest with you. Let's go have it. Let's go ahead and have Jubei just mow these guys down for a little bit. These are all tagged. He should be able to take all of them out pretty quick. Come on, cut them more down. One more. Let's do it. And the valley will start cleaning up while the fight's still going on. That's some service right there. Might be something like John Wick or something like that. Maybe that's just me thinking that. So, I don't see any agents of justice around, so that is always a good thing. He's starting to die down a little bit in America, and also in Saber, so that is good. So if we need to, we can switch over there. We also haven't done anything in Hammer yet. We need to do that. We are getting more and more people coming to the island. We've got a good Patriot Investigator, and we've got a pathetic Infiltrator. Not ideal for either one. So let's look at what can... Alright, so he can almost get one walk. I prefer that just so that if in an emergency situation that either our evil genius is under attack or something like that, he can warp in there and start taking care of them and have our evil genius escape. Kind of the idea, at least. And also, like, if they're way down here, we can just warp out to them, kill them all, and then walk away. Kind of helps, too, with that. Looks like we got our training center kind of updated. We have our all of our consoles that we wanted up and going here. So let's start working on our staff room. Maybe that'll help with some loyalty as well as trying to get some of our stats up, and just, you know, kind of in general. Can you look here? Like, I mean, these guy's not too bad. This is not too bad. They're starting to come up a little bit because I think since we were starting to have more workers or more minions than jobs, they have a little more time to relax. They can take care of their stats and things like that. Do you want to get another bunk bed or 2? Let's grab actually 3, something like that, just so that we have enough of those that we can really be okay. Let me double check here, because usually this will say China and Southeast Asia, track him down. So very well, he either is in Southeast Asia or he is in China, which we'll have to kind of figure that out here in a second. That worker might die here shortly. Maybe. Waju Bay ran all the way around to start taking these guys out. We did lose one worker, but oh well. This is what keeps. This will happen pretty much throughout the game. You'll just start getting more and more agents. They'll have more skills. They'll have different ones that come at you. There's ones that. So try to remember all the different ones. So there's the investigator. So the investigator is pretty much their whole goal is to try to find stuff that you're doing evil, body bags, heavy weaponry, stolen loot, things like that. And they also can take some of that back. The burglars, kind of self-explanatory. They try to steal stuff back from you. Money, loot. Things like that. You have infiltrators, which are there just to pretty much blow up the base. Now, that's their whole goal, just to try to take you down. You also have assassins. Assassins are there to try and kill your evil genius. That is their whole goal. They don't come up too often, but they're a little. They do happen. And then there's soldiers. Soldiers are there just to wipe out everything they see. They're military. They want to kill as many people as they can. It's kind of the whole goal for them. And unfortunately, they just kind of go as they please, which is not ideal. But they do have, especially the exceptional ones. Exceptional soldiers, they have machine guns and everything like that, and they have a lot of health. And that's kind of the two issues that that we have with them. Oh, cool. I think Jubei can finally learn Windwalk, which is awesome. There we go. So now, he's got Windwalk. So every henchman like that actually has 2 special abilities like that. So it is kind of neat. We can finally get that going. We don't quite have enough, probably. Ooh, hold on. Hide those guys. And one of our guys just died over here. Well, that's not ideal. Let's try to send 2 guys, and we'll actually have one of those guys. Well, I actually want to send 3. We'll keep one on the island, but we want to have those guys plotting. Have these guys go back to stealing. Maybe he's in North China. I don't remember. This is usually one I have to go look up because I don't remember exactly where he's at, but you know. Before we actually start capturing them, we have to actually build this area up because they have to have somewhere to go. Kind of makes sense. It looks like we almost have the staff room built, so that won't be too terrible after that to try to get the corridor built and then the inner sanctum built. Look here. Ooh, it's 20 grand just in furniture. Not ideal. Let's actually delete that so we only have to spend 5 grand on furniture. don't get me wrong, we're going to get the impressive desk later, or, you know, soon after. But I want to save a little more money. You know, we want to try to get that done. But at least now our minions can go down and relax a little bit. This will also help with their loyalty, too. They actually have a break room that they can go into. That guy should be good to release. There's one box. Is there another box coming somewhere? Maybe not. Oh, there it is. So it looks like that is all taken care of. We've got some infiltrators there. We also have some investigators there. Let's try out Jubei's new ability. Ready? Boosh. And he's and he's warped right behind him. Well, samurai on ninja action here. And the worker died. You know, unnamed worker, probably it's kind of like a red shirt and or unnamed red shirt in Star Trek. It's probably best just to kind of write them off. Let's just be real here. Anything new going on? There's no agents of justice out here. Ooh, but there's a lovely vase we can go steal. It's stuff like that. Some of the stuff is like, it's like, oh, that's kind of mundane, but they have a really good backstory. It's like from the Ming Dynasty that they're in the Natural Art Museum, but this one day they're going to transfer it from one museum to another, and then you can steal it. It's stuff like that. Which, you know, maybe this is just me. I don't understand stuff like that. Like, you would steal stuff like that, and you wouldn't really be able to do much with it. Like, there was somebody who stole the Mona Lisa one time. It's like, number one, I don't know how you would steal it. I think he just walked out with it one day. But what would you do with it afterwards? I mean, like, for here, it's really just to keep your minions loyal. There's no value. I mean, there's value to them, but like in the game, it's just like, oh, we've got a little bit of notoriety because we stole it, and that's about it. But there's people that are out there that just steal stuff like that for fun, and like, I don't understand that. It's amazing, but I just don't understand it. Oh, look at this. Ooh, the Now You See Me pair. That's actually really cool. You actually use that for research quite a bit, so that is something we do need. But unfortunately, we're not finding the guy we need to find. Which I think, he's one of these three squares. Yeah, I guess that's true. It is really kind of a show of power. That's why we still... Get this, it is later on, which we are going to do, because I always do this in the game. You actually can steal the Eiffel Tower. I think it's hilarious. I do it every time. And that is like the ultimate show of force. You're just like... Essentially, holidays, you have a shrink ray. You fly in during Bastille Day. If anybody knows, it's kind of like the French Independence Day. And during the celebrations, you actually steal the Eiffel Tower. You shrink it down and you helicopter it out. It is fantastic. That's one of... If I remember, there's 5 or 6 Uber loots. So essentially later on, we have to gain enough money, kind of like collateral, to get a loan to actually buy the next island. So in America, they have the $1 million bill. In Europe, there might be 6 Uber loots. Now I'm thinking about this. There's King Arthur's sword and the Eiffel Tower. Asia, there's a samurai set of armor. In Africa, there is a Egyptian sarcophagus, like a pharaoh sarcophagus. And in Russia, there is the Ark of the Covenant, that I also like stealing as well. A little Indiana Jones style of heist on that one. But yeah, it's pretty neat. That's a fun one that comes up a little bit later. I think it's maybe part 4. And we're on part 2 right now, so we'll get there eventually. Looks like our staff room is now done. We can go ahead and start doing this corridor. We can get that all going. I think I've stolen all of them at least once. But every time I know I steal the Eiffel Tower and the $1 million bill. The other two are kind of iffy. I've stolen the sarcophagus once. I've gotten King Arthur's sword once, which is kind of neat. But usually I go for the sarcophagus, and I try to go for the Ark of the Covenant. Those are the 4 I usually get. So we might try to get the sarcophagus and the samurai armor this time. Why not? Just try to something a little bit different, and it might be kind of fun. Ah, there's the guy. We were looking in the wrong place. So that needs 5 guards. Pretty simple. There's another vase we can steal. And another Ming. Look at that. Oh, we're going to steal another vase. Is this Ming bling bling, and then it's another Ming. I'm glad they named it that. Although let's go to Hammer. Why not? We'll go to Hammer. We'll do some plotting over there. See what we can see. Probably not a whole lot, but at the same time, we can try to see if we can find some acts of infamy to try to do a little bit later. You know what? We might try to get that guy next. Or try to get this guy first, because we only need 5 guards. We have the 5 guards. We have 2 or 4 already out stealing for us, so kind of makes some sense. But this one, I do want to send out a couple of each of them. If you look here, we gain 5 heat, which is not great, but 3 minutes, that's a long time. But if we send 4 technicians, it might only take us 2 minutes. So that is kind of nice. Look at that. So this is actually to steal another guard. There is every possession, or every minion out there actually has 2 locations you can get them. So this is the guard, and this is the second one. The maid you can get here and in Turkey, I believe. I'm trying to remember some other ones, but just stuff like that. So you got to keep an eye out for those. So like, let's say we have a lot of heat and smash, we need another guard, but we can go up here to Hammer, and there's no heat on us. We can always go up there and steal that guard. Gotta make sense. It's kind of nice that way too, that they thought about that ahead of time, because if not, we'd have been kind of screwed if something like that were to come up. So it only costs us $8,200. It'll cost us $5 grand for the table. So you're looking at what, at 13.5 maybe? So once we get that door in, we pretty much are ready to start building that inner sanctum. I think we'll be sitting pretty then. Let's go over here and start plotting over here. I like to move these guys around quite a bit, because usually with stuff like this, the steel stuff, it's based kind of on your notoriety. So in that case, you need to actually kind of worry about trying to get your notoriety up first, and then you can kind of go back to some of these areas. But right now, that screen, we're actually getting quite a few acts of infamy to come up. So I think we're a little bit behind on the plotting, but you know, we can kind of catch up with that with enough science minions and things like that. But I think once we get the inner sanctum built, I think we're wanting to start it. We'll at least try to get the Asian crime master. I do want to save one of them until next stream. The reason is that let's go ahead and have Jubei take care of this guy. The only reason I want to save one is the 4th one. Ooh, look at that. Boosh. Get eviscerate. So now experience for him does not matter. Cool. Works out pretty well. I actually was kind of surprised we actually learned both this stream. But going back to, I want to save one of them, because I think the 4th one, they actually bring guys to your island, and so you have to defeat them. So I kind of want to wait on that, because that can take a little bit. And that might be a great way to open the next stream. We'll capture one guy, and then we'll have a 4th guy essentially he brings his construction. He's kind of like a low-level evil genius, kind of like we are now. And he brings his own henchmen. Like, he brings a bunch of construction workers, which they're really easy to defeat if you know where they're going to land. Essentially, you just sit on the top of the cliff, and as they're rappelling up, well, as they're climbing up, there's one rope that they go up, so it's one at a time, and you can just cut them down with Jubei or Eli or whoever. So it's pretty simple with that one. But we lost 2 guards. Not ideal. We got another act of infamy over here. You know what? Since we are starting to build our inner sanctum, let's go ahead and actually start getting some guards to. Ooh, we need actually 5 guards. Let's not put them over there. Let's put them back over here. I guess we lost a couple more than just a couple, or we lost more than what I thought. Because we need 5. We only have 4. So we'll get 2 people training up right now. Looks like that guy is going to buy some stuff. Looks like it's just some simple inner sanctum stuff. Do we actually need the impressive desk, or do we just need the inner sanctum with the conference? Okay, we just need the conference table. Okay, I'm okay with that. So I think what we'll do, we'll send at least one more scientist. When we get our guards, we'll send those guys out as well. So we'll capture that guy. Now the other one we want to do, if we can keep our... What's that? That's our valets. And if we can keep this guy, if we can keep our technicians alive, may not be the best idea, or might it be a worse idea to go try to capture that one as well. And that'll be our 2 for the episode. And so then we can kind of keep on track to get the next part done, part 2 in stream 2. It might be a little aggressive on timing, but you know, it does happen. So we got 1 guard back. We'll get this guy. Once that guy's done, we can start sending them out to the world. Yeah, I figured you know, we would have more agents, but actually medium's not too terrible. It costs us a little bit more money to build the base and everything like that. However, it's not too terrible. It's you know, there's more agents. I can tell there's more agents kind of snooping around. It seems like we gain heat a lot faster as well than I remember it. But still not terrible, I should say. Ooh, look at this. Oh, we have on plotting. What do I have on plotting? There's the other maid. But we also can steal a nice rug. There's also another active infamy we can do there. Look at that. So there we go. So we got our first task complete. So now we can actually start working on the rest of them. Let's see here. So we should have all 6 guards now ready. Let's go ahead and send... I'll send 4 of... Well, we do this. We need to send 3 of them. Send 3 technicians. And that should be good. Should be ready to start doing that here in a moment. So right now it's going to take us about 2 minutes, just a little over 2 minutes to get that done. We had a minion dessert on us. Oh, that's just good anvil burglar, alright. Fair enough. Looks like we might need to work on a security desk. We can do that now. Oh, do that. We can put a second one there. Probably put 3 up total. Won't be too bad. But we also will need a security camera. And some loudspeakers so that if people can hear this. Oh, that's not what I want that. Loudspeaker, please. I need 1 more down here. So there's all those taken care of. Get a little bit, a basic version of a security system up and going. Not ideal, but it will work. There we go. We got those guys taken care of. All right, so we're just about ready to take this guy out, or capture this guy, I should say. Alright, let's do it. Now that we actually have enough of the computers, we actually can see how long it's going to take us. So it's not too bad. Do a little bit of stretching here. Alright. Cool, they're all set up on 1, so that's sorry. Sometimes you actually can set up multiple cameras. So like, let's say on the second island, let's say we have an entrance down here, We have we lost somebody. Let's say we have another camera system here. We can tell minions only in this area that we have an intruder. And then this half of the base is still okay. We did lose somebody, though. It looks like we lost a scientist. The guards not doing their job. Just going to point that out there. So we'll have to start training some more. We'll train one more technician, and then we can start sending the next one out. Are we losing another one? Maybe not. Maybe I just saw something. I guess now what we could do, I kind of like leaving my evil genius there so that they stay focused and things like that. So maybe that's just me. But eventually we do want to move him now to the inner sanctum, because it's kind of neat. The inner sanctum is the only room that he actually will move around by himself in. So he'll actually go around, just walk around, take a look at the stuff that he has in here. Because we usually put like a vase or something like loot that we get in there, and then he'll walk to his desk, see what he's doing, and then kind of walk around. It's kind of neat, but that's the only room he'll do it in. Because it's really technically his room, so it kind of makes sense. So we have about 10 seconds left on that one. It was not terrible here. Thinking we lost another. Put them in high. We'll just keep stealing. We really don't want to build any more heat up in these regions, but we are missing 2 technicians. Once we get those 2 trained up, we'll actually start sending them out to the west coast of America. Let's go ahead and get Jubei on this guy. So you see here, we actually have an intruder alert. And now everybody that's heard that alert, that can fight, will start running towards the entrance. It's a neat idea, especially if you have, like, it's more for if you send your henchmen out into the world, at least for what I think it is. You send your henchmen out in the world and you need somebody to come and defend your base. It kind of sets an alert so that more people will start coming to your aid from your base. So it kind of makes some sense. At least to me, it makes sense, I should say. Like, we already got 1 technician trained, the other one's starting his training now, so it's not ideal, but, okay, so now we should actually see, there he is. So there is Li Ying Lo from the Yakuza. I haven't played those games. That's the first of them. I think there's 6 or 7 you have to go get. So you get the first 3 now, and then you have to get the other 4 later. So not too bad at all. Do we have 1 or 2 out here? We only have 1 out here. He's not quite done training yet. But he's getting close. It seems like the scientists seem to train up a lot bit faster than the other ones do. Maybe that's just me thinking that, but I don't know. That's just kind of an idea. Come on, game. There we go. Ooh, let's send those guys into hiding. Because this guy will actually start taking out a lot of people. Usually I'll try to move them. Oh, we can't actually now. So let's go ahead and get these guys out of here. Head them over to the west coast of the U.S. How much heat will this bring us? That doesn't say. That's not ideal, but alright. We can have them start stealing as well so that we have a bit more money coming in. Oh, we got a task complete because that guy sat down at our little conference table over here. The thing we don't have is an archive. We should get one of those up and going. Not a huge one, but, you know, something like this. And I think we actually want to make it a little bit smaller than this. But right now, since the only thing we really have, at least something like that. Yeah, there is some. Whoever wrote the descriptions for some of the acts of infamy, either were just evil themselves, like in a good way, because Obliterate Nashville is pretty. So Obliterate Nashville, there is a active infamy you do. You actually cause an earthquake in Nashville and just level the place, which is kind of sad. I've been to Nashville twice now. I enjoyed it, but there's a lot of people that don't enjoy stuff like that, and that's their prerogative. But yeah, that one is pretty funny. It's like, you know what? It's like, you know, oh, fridge. You gotta love country music. I mean, you're wrong. What it is, my family's from Kentucky, and so I was like, but I never lived in Kentucky, but they're all from Kentucky. It's one of those things. Let's have Jubei come out and take care of these guys real quick. We'll also show off Eviscerate. But, you know, Fridge brought up that whoever wrote this, the description for the Acts of Infamy, had too much fun with it. But isn't that kind of the whole point of developing a game? You want to have fun with it. And especially with a game like this, it's like you can kind of do some, maybe some of the little kind of skirting around some of the rules. It's like, you know, that would be a little risque, but you know what, we'll allow it because it's this kind of game. I actually did forget the control thing. I thought it was shift, but I realized it was not when I could not select the entire group there. So what else we've got? Do we have everybody else out here? We do. I think it's time we go ahead and hit the go button on this one. Alright, so we'll get that one done this episode, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We're not done with it yet, but you know what? Ooh, that takes a lot more than I thought it would. We still might do this one. Just kind of, you know what? We'll steal rug. You know, not ideal, but, you know. Give us some loot to admire as we go about our evil duties. I keep wanting to use Wasad as to move around, but you can't do that. You have to use the arrow keys. Old game, middle of it. There we go. Jubei will take care of that guy momentarily. Looks like the corridor is done here. So once they get all that taken care of, we can go ahead and just start doing that. That's no big deal. We got a minion relaxing casually. How's this going? We do have information. We only 18 more seconds. All right, so that's not too bad. I guess with all those technicians out there, it wouldn't take very long because we have technicians out there.
Pacific Radio. The West Coast is
this guy's. Alright, so we actually need 2 workers. We need 4 guards. That's kind of the issue. So we have the 4 guards already. We just need the 4 workers and the 2 valets. We'll go steal a rug. And nobody can tell me it's not just a rug. Essentially, we're selling something for a sheik. So sources indicate that Smash has been receiving substantial donations from a multi-millionaire sheik, Azar al-Jabbar. The sheik seems to think that his cash injections might purchase him some form of extra protection from the villainous organization like ours. Perhaps it's time to disabuse him of his ridiculous notion. A raid on his palace seems to be in order, and we steal one of his rugs. Honestly, though, if you were to go, and maybe I just don't know too much about this, you would think that there would be more expensive things than a rug. I mean, I know Turkish rugs apparently are absolutely crazy in price, but I don't know, like an exotic car, that's that could be $1 million car, and it could very well has multiple cars like that. You know, I'm just saying. Take a couple Ferraris and sell them on the open market out there and get a bit more cash. I mean, they'd probably be worth at least $800,000 or $900,000 each. Just saying, you know. There is the second guy. That's the mob boss, Marvin DeLuca. We're getting our library, called the library. This is actually the archive set up. You see all the books and everything. But this is actually going to go back here and replenish their smart stats. So it's a good one to have. But I think we're ready. Let's go steal a rug. We're getting $7,200 right now in money. So, oh, we've already lost 2 of our minions. So we lost a gardener technician. And we lost 2 more. Holy cow. Sheik does not like us. We actually might lose this mission. Thankfully, we only have to have all the minions start. If all the minions don't make it out, if only one minion makes it out, we still get the rug. But holy cow, I didn't think that we would lose that many people. There we go. Alright, let's head back to base. So I got a feeling with that much heat in 2 places. Well, it's actually not terrible. That's not terrible. But we got the rug. Let's get this rug out and somewhere people can see it. Right there looks good. Could use it as a welcome mat, but Ooh, what do we got here? An anvil investigator. All right. Steady on. So right now we've got 2 of the 3 objectives done that I wanted to get done. We've got one section done. We've almost got this second part done, which there's a couple more after this, so it's going to be a little while before we get that done. But I think we're getting towards the point where we're getting ready to wrap up for the day. I do want to get let's get another power generator going in here. We'll get our archive set up. Wait for this. We've already got both guys sitting in here, so we've got those completed. Don't think we can really build anything else that we really need right now. Yeah, we might be pretty much at where we're going to be for the episode. We got about 20 minutes left. We could probably train a few more people and try to do another act of infamy. Although our people are going to be lacking just a little bit here. We could do something like that. We need some more guards, though. I'm a little concerned with that. Right now, we don't have too much heat there. We could get the Now You See It, which is actually a really good thing to have. We need 2 of each, which we have plenty of already. May not be the worst idea in the world. Let's go ahead and do that. 2 of each. That leaves enough there so we can continue training and everything, so not terrible. Get that head cuff off there. Do some more stretching here. Sitting down for 3 hours a day, or well, 3 hours like this is sometimes it's not ideal. I mean, I've got a nice comfy chair, but still, every once in a while you need to get up and stretch out a little bit. And since we only have about 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes, I think I'll be okay for now. And then we'll, I'd like to at least steal one more thing. We'll actually get these guys killed. Let's do that. I once again forgot the control technique. Let's go ahead and get this guy up here, and we'll eviscerate. So it's an instant kill. First time you see Russia and America fighting on the same side. Pretty interesting, and they're going to die pretty easily, but let's be fair here. Nothing like an evil genius to get the world together against one common cause. Hey, look at that. We went from harmless to mostly harmless. We got enough notoriety to become mostly harmless. So that's pretty nice, you know. All of our workers or all of our people are going out now. Yeah, I think once we get this act of infamy done, I think that'd be a good place to stop. We have a good start on our evil organization. We got plenty of people to train, and our training is actually going pretty well, so that's always a good thing to see. We actually can probably boost that up a little bit. We actually still have 5 slots available, so we might need to hire some more minions or something like that. Because, I mean, the worst comes to worst, the minions don't cost us anything. It's just training, so. All right, let's go for it. And this one, I think we can increase to 5. Oop, yep. Go to 15 there. So I think that'll be a good... Once we get all those people... Oh, hold on. Oh. GBK, take care of that, please. Thank you. I think, you know, once we get... we got a good amount of people in here. I mean, that's a good starting amount. That's what, 24, 34, 39 people with the capacity. That's a good starting base. You know, it's solid. At least I think it is. Nothing to really show for there, so. And hopefully we can get stuff like that fixed. With more people, we'll have more people to run consoles, to run the infirmary, kitchen, things like that. So, to me, that's not terrible. And there we go. Now you steal it, now you don't. Look at that, we only lost one person. Even better. This one we need a lot more workers. But that'll have to be next time. Let's go ahead and get our... Let's get this. We'll put it up in the control room, because a lot of people spend a lot of time in the control room, and if they actually see something we steal, the loyalty actually stays a little bit higher. So that does help quite a bit. We're getting some infiltrators in, some other agents of justice coming into our island, but we are so far able to repel them pretty easily. Pretty much what we stole is it's a sample of material that allows that actually hides everything to make it look like the background. Kind of like an invisibility trick, I would say so. So it's not too bad at all. So we'll get that in, guys. So I think that's a good stopping point for us. We've got a good start on our base. We had nothing. We just had a little corridor here. We've kind of built out our entire base this episode, or this series. Episode, series, stream, whatever you want to call it. Seems like we've got a good start on our minions. I think we're going to be doing a lot of training here soon, or well, now. So I might start this game a little early next time so I can get all that done. So we can start really hammering some Acts of Infamy out next time. So I'm going to go ahead and save the game here. And there we go. Let that register for a second. I'm going to switch over to... Ooh, hit my monitor. Not ideal. But guys, thanks for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you guys are wanting to see more content from me, or kind of curious when I stream, the best way to follow me, or the best way to do that, is just leave me a follow. It's free. And just leave a follow there. I think we're up to 52 or 53 now. Don't remember exactly. But we're trying to get to 75 before August. First year we actually got to 50, so I think that's pretty cool. So it's kind of the same kind of growth. We're trying to get as many as we can, of course. And thank you for the new follower today. Name's Johnny. I do appreciate it. If you guys are looking for more of my content, maybe you want to see the original playthrough I did through Evil Genius. If you look below, there's a link to my YouTube channel. All my streams are archived on there, so if you want to take a look at that. Usually I trim them down so that pretty much all the breaks and everything are taken out. So usually it's about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, depending on which one you're looking at. And so yeah, that is that's kind of my little spiel. If you guys are curious, I do stream 2 times a week, every Wednesday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be playing Evil Genius for the next couple of weeks, just so that we kind of get hyped up for Evil Genius 2 that comes out on March 30th. Although I'm not sponsored by them, so, but you know, I figured people that enjoy games like this, like me, are also wanting to know when the new game comes out. So if you guys haven't heard about that, you can Google it, check out Evil Genius 2. You can pre-order it right now. I have already pre-ordered mine. I've got the collector's edition, so hopefully that'll be on its way here shortly. But guys, that is going to be it for me today. Thank you for joining me once again. I'll see you guys on Friday, so have a great Thursday. I'll see you guys back here at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some more Evil Genius. But until then, guys, take care. Have a great day.